A very good evening to all those who have joined us today. We'll be starting the session in another maybe 1 or 2 minutes, just waiting for a few more participants. They are just joining. So we'll start in 2 minutes. Thank you. Request all of you to keep your mics on mute. If you have any queries, you can always unmute and ask in the end of the session. Or you can put your queries in the chat box. We'll take it and answer it. Thank you. A very good evening and warm welcome to all the participants who have joined us today for this webinar on cyberspace, opportunities and challenges for students. I am Shiva Shivakumar, Coordinator Programs with ISEC, or Information Sharing and Analysis Center. ISEC is a leading non-profit cybersecurity organization having partnership with government bodies for cybersecurity's capacity building. ISEC conducts various cybersecurity training courses in the non-technical, technical, and techno-managerial levels. In today's webinar, we have students from Geetham University various campuses, and from the various campuses, we have students also from various campuses of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Education Institutions, Hyderabad. Let me thank Meghna Reddy, who is our campus ambassador for Geetham University, from Geetham University, who was arranged for this webinar, and also Ms. G. Saroja Madam, MD and correspondent of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Educational Institutions, Hyderabad. We have today with us two very eminent speakers for conduction of this webinar. The first speaker will be Mr. Nayan Naidu. Let me now give a small introduction about him. Mr. Nayan Naidu is currently working as Senior Engineering Leader heading DevSecOps and Cloud Engineering Practice at Altimetric India Private Limited. He is a seasoned techno management professional helping organization in digital transformations. He is also a very experienced person in building COEs. He has also worked across the globe, including India, Singapore, US, and Europe in various domains. Now I hand over the session to Nayan sir for further proceedings. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. This is Nayan speaking. Welcome aboard, and let us dwell into this journey of the cybersecurity space that we have, where we can quickly walk you through what are the opportunities that we have, and also the area of work that we collectively can look at. What are all the things that we can look at, right? So bear with me for a few minutes while I start sharing the screen. Let me know once you all can see my screen. Yeah.
Yes, sir, we can see it. We can put it in the presentation mode.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Can we see? Okay. All right. So let's briefly look at the opportunities that we have in terms of the cybersecurities, especially what's happening in the current industry, and also what is that actually leading us to the various aspects that we keep hearing as part of the news, as part of the curriculum that we are actually looking at, where the cyberspace is getting its attention as such, right? So let's just look at some of those areas why we are where we are, right? As an organization, if we, as a country, if we really look at it, right? So the economic status of India, we are growing at a very fast pace. We are the sixth largest country after US, China, Japan, Germany, and UK. And also from the economy growth point of view, we are going to be third largest by 2020, right? And again, this is happening at such a fast pace. Everybody thought the COVID, the pandemic situation is going to impact our economic status as such. However, it has turned out to be a boon indirectly. And what is that differences that we are seeing here? The issues that we are seeing here is, if you think from the economic growth point of view, we are definitely growing at a faster pace. We are in the industrial growth. I mean, if you look at the budget that was announced just today, the amount of focus that we have, be it in the defense space or be it in the infrastructure, be it in electrical vehicles, be it in the places where the growth of a country needs to happen. There's a massive focus on how it needs to be happening and how as a country that we are growing towards it. Now, what it means from a cybersecurity point of view, right? The technology that we have been getting access to get to know across the world what is actually happening. It is essentially the focus areas which is way beyond what we could actually achieve earlier, right? The situation that we have in terms of the accessing the information. Earlier, it used to be very difficult for us to even get hold of a white paper, which would have been published by HBR, Harvard Business Review, and try to understand what exactly it's talking about. Now, it's easily accessible for you. The MOOC aspects of various universities actually give you various free courses for you to just understand and how the things go on. It always comes as an added advantage, right? But we need to really think from whether it's a boon or a bane. What we see, the benefits that we are getting is, it's very easy to be connected. It is a fast and efficient helper. In fact, in IT industry, we use a terminology called as Google engineering, right? It's mostly because some of the folks who actually have to code mostly go Google it and actually try to put it in the code and start working towards it, right? And jokes apart, it is still an important aspect when it comes to efficient helper. And there was a joke which is going around in the morning today where people were saying, old lady is holding an encyclopedia. And when we asked about it, I mean, she says that, yeah, this is pre-Google time, right? The encyclopedia book that we used to have earlier. So the times are changing. Sorry, did somebody have a question? Okay. So the times are changing. It's definitely a fast helper, right? I mean, if you want to know what's the temperature today, you don't have to go to the newspaper and look at it. You just need to look at your mobile phone, and it's already connected based on your geolocation. It's already giving you the information that's needed. So the knowledge that you need, cyber technology, especially the internet and the mobile devices that we use, are the gateway to the knowledge that we need. Bringing people closer, especially disappearing distances, right? I mean, I'm sure all of us have those WhatsApp groups as well as the other social media groups where we would have been got connected with our childhood friends, right? Or so many friends who would have shifted locations, shifted places, shifted countries. It's still possible for us to be in touch. And there are places where we get connected with unknown people as well, right? I mean, in a positive way, in a negative way, we still have those connections possible, right? This is enabling us to disappear the distances or focus on distances. So this is also helping the businesses to go in a faster pace. But all these problems, anything that has an advantage will also have some of the issues, right? So having cyber technology, essentially, having connection to internet and a mobile device is a perennial distractor. It easily, we keep having that view of going back to our mobile phone and keep looking at it, right? If we click on the wrong links that we get as SMS or a WhatsApp message, you may get into a privacy intrusion where somebody may be getting onto your mobile devices or other devices as such, right? There is also a potential misguidance. Essentially, if somebody starts sharing false information, that may start misguiding the whole set of people. The social media also brings in something like a peer pressure. We are looking at a situation where people are not really getting to know whether it is real fact or just because we posted something, there are 10 people liked. Why is my post just has 10 people's like, whereas my friend's post has at least 100 likes, right? That makes us think about how do I post more. It is also becoming an issue with our social life because when we keep posting as to what are all the things that are happening, it also start creating a problem in terms of if somebody is keeping a close watch from your network as to what is that you keep doing, right? And we are also seeing that because of the issues like identity thefts, etc., the crimes are on the legitimate users, right? So this is where we need to look at how we can group these issues that we have been discussing about, which are coming across because of the fact that these are the cyber crimes. These are the areas where cyber crime is possible. Based on the suggestions by United Nations office, we could actually list down some of those areas where typical cyber crimes can happen. The reason why I'm trying to give you this background.
Excuse me, sorry to disturb you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, your volume is dropping, sir.
My volume is dropping.
Yeah.
Is it the same case for all, Shiba?
Sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
No,
sir.
you are clear.
Yeah, it is clear, sir.
Volume is dropping.
It is clear, sir. Very clear.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's very clear.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. So yes, the reason why I wanted to share that this background is this information is essential for us to understand where cybersecurity opportunities can actually exist for us. For that, we need to understand the difference in terms of the kind of issues that we may probably get into, right? So there are computer related fraud or forgery where somebody else can log in on behalf of you and start doing some issues, right? There are identity offenses where instead of you, somebody else takes your name and starts doing something else. There are medical record falsification, there are medical product falsifications, there are counterfeiting that can happen, blackmailing, extortion, ransomware is becoming a big issue. most recent issue that I was addressing for one of our customers was they lost their entire infrastructure because of a one mistake that somebody did over the Christmas Eve, right? During the Christmas. And that basically means that, somebody missed out taking care of one of the guardrails that's supposed to be set up, because of which they just lost their entire infrastructure, which is hosted on cloud, right? So that is where the next thing that happens is people come back to you and start asking, okay, I have all your data. Now you better give us the money back. Otherwise, we are not going to give you your infrastructure back. And again, it goes towards the cryptocurrency part, which is another topic altogether, right? There are offenses which can actually get into a mode. Simple example is there are chat engines which are available, which can actually which is specifically meant for some of the gaming applications, right? These applications allow people to actually just fake their age and just log in. There's no verification per se. You don't even know who's on the other side who's actually interacting with you. And I have seen specifically in my own circle, and I had to educate some of the kids that they shouldn't be doing that, because there are people who can actually be interacting with you and trying to get more closer to you and get into exploitation mode, right? Money laundering can happen, internet gambling can happen, trafficking in terms of in-person smuggling. There are cases, there are cases which some of the law enforcement authorities across the world are still fighting because of some of the situations that we are actually describing here, which is very, very tricky. And this is mostly becoming more simpler because I don't know if many of you know, one of the best places where the security is implemented well is actually a casino, right? Because that's the place where most of the people actually can do faults, right? Or do crimes or cheat the system itself, right? That's one of the reasons. And you can see the reason how things can actually keep going. It only starts getting expanded, right? The reason why I'm talking about all this is every problem comes with an opportunity, and these aspects where cyber criminals are becoming more and more active and more they are understanding what is actually happening, and they are getting into a situation where they are ahead of us. It is necessary for us to be ready for what is happening in the industry. And are they getting resolved? Absolutely. We keep hearing so many newses where it's becoming a news mostly because somebody found about it, right? Somebody found and somebody actually addressed the issue as well, right? There are cases which you can list, which I have listed down here, where police has a specific cybercrime wing which can actually focus on some of these issues, which keeps continuously monitoring this. There's a way to actually go ahead and reach out to them, and they can help people out in terms of actually how we can address these issues, right? So this is something which is happening, which we keep hearing, and you can clearly see, right? I mean, we keep hearing the stories about the retirement benefits of retired government employees being targeted, right? These are all happening mostly because of their lack of information. And I'm sure there were web series which came, and majority of you might have actually heard about it, saw it. That's mostly because, it's very easy or maybe they're a bit one step ahead of what's supposed to happen, right? That's essentially where it comes also with an opportunity. This is where we see when we want to we want more support to walk in the right path, because it's very easy to get deviated. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, host, please mute everyone. If anybody want to ask any questions, they can put it in Q&A. Please mute.
Okay. So moving forward, definitely we need more and more cybersecurity professionals to address the quantum of issues that are going on, and the awareness of these issues is also essential, right? That is essentially where it comes to a point where what are the top issues that we would like to answer, or top questions that we may have when we start thinking about what's happening in the when we want to get into the cybersecurity as a domain or as an area of interest from an employment point of view, right? So can I really enter this domain? Yes, absolutely. Anybody can enter this domain, right? Do I need coding skills? Coding skills, with coding skills, you can do something. Without coding skills, also you can do something, right? And it is a vast world, right? How do I survive? If you really look at it, yes, maybe a vast world, but we have place where we can actually coach you in terms of how you can survive. Will this take years? It depends on the amount of interest that you have, and there are programs which can start within a few weeks, few months, few years. Depends on the course of action that you would like to take. Where do I start? We have a specific set of courses that we'll probably walk you through and help you understand what is that we are actually talking about. I'm a techie, but my skills are yet to mature. Is it worth the effort? Absolutely, right? This is a space which is booming, and I don't know if you keep a track of how the industry is growing. Cybersecurity and security is one of the places which is getting more attention as much as it is needed uh, in the past few years. And thanks to pandemic situation, more and more common people were getting impacted, and more organizations were also getting impacted. It's not just the common people. There were enterprises who would have set up their infrastructure in different way. Because of one minor mistake that somebody did, they got into trouble, right? So you do have an opportunity to grow along with your know-how to start small and grow bigger. Can I work from home? Absolutely. There are programs like bug bounty and other stuff which you can actually, it doesn't matter because of the the connectivity that we all have. And I think pandemic has proven one important thing, which is it doesn't matter where you stay, as long as you have a good connectivity and you have a willingness to learn, you can continue to learn, right? Same applies here as well. You can continue to work from home, no problem whatsoever, because many of the organizations, I'm sure you might have read this in the news as well, many of the organizations are encouraging people to at least continue to work from home, or at least look for a hybrid kind of option where 50% of the employees can come in and go out, just to make sure there's a social connect, or at least a face-to-face connect, right? What certifications will deck me up and make me respectable? Oh, there are plenty of list of certificates that we'll probably walk you through towards the later part of this presentations, right? What happens if I do a rookie mistake on the job? Oh, friends, we all learn from our mistakes, right? We all learn from our mistakes. And even I was a rookie once, one time ago, right? Though I am in the industry for the last 2 decades, it doesn't mean that I have not done a mistake. We all learn from our mistakes, and that's how we get to learn more, right? Who or which company can hire me? Oh, there are plenty of companies who are actually focusing on cybersecurity, right? Including my organization, we are actually hiring people in the space, and we get to, at least I know tens of my friends whose companies are also hiring, especially in the cybersecurity space. Will I get good pay? Oh, I can assure that one. That's a very good pay actually when it comes to cybersecurity expertise, right? And again, it depends on what level you start and obviously how good you would be, right? It's the more better you are or more better you get, obviously it will start increasing. That's usually the case. When it comes to, at least the base salaries and stuff like that, this is one of the domains where you definitely get a better salary, right? So these are some of the top questions which we are kind of preempting instead of waiting for you people to ask us, right? We have just gone ahead, listed those things down, and actually started. We have started, enabling you to understand what we think could be a possible questions and how we can answer already, right? One thing that is very important is, this is actually the statement made by FBI Director Christopher Wray. The scale of this cyber criminal attacks is something that I don't think this country has ever really seen anything quite like it, and it's going to get much worse, right? I mean, that's how it is. The scenario right now is, as much access we as common people have to the information security as such, criminals also have it, right? And they'll also keep looking for it. So simple example is, you go ahead, create an AWS account, which is on one of the well-known cloud service providers account. And if you don't take care of putting some of the security measures and putting some guardrails, the next thing that happen is somebody else will actually get onto that infrastructure, start doing the Bitcoin mining or something like that, right? It's as simple as that. People will keep looking at what are all the issues that, which are all the possible loopholes that we can find in our infrastructure, and people keep on actually trying to piggyback on it, get it, and try to actually make it, utilize it, misuse it. That's where it is essential for us to keep a close watch on what we are doing, especially when it is in the cloud infrastructure, right? So cybercrime is definitely on the rise, and we keep listening to these stories, and this is something which is some of the snippet from the recent newspaper clippings as such, right? So it's worldwide if you really look at it. Wall Street Journal is talking about it. You have BBC reporting about it. Reuters News, Wall Street Journal again. These are again in the last year 2021. That's one of the reasons why you saw the statement made by the FBI head. Now, if you look at India, even in India, there are so many cases that we are seeing, right? You might have heard about so many stories. You can keep hearing that, oh, somebody met somebody online, and the person was supposed to actually help the other person and ended up losing few lakhs of money. Somebody is told that, oh, there is some international some product is coming from other country. You can actually own it, and you probably need some initial amount to be paid. They again lose money. This is something which is happening. The frauds is something which is happening with the access to internet and anybody having access to anybody across the world. This is going to the next level, right? So if we think from the global breach statistics, we have in the last 5 years, it is going humongously a large number of data being lost, right? The number of records that are being lost, if you really look at it, and it's increasing and it's not stopping. This can happen in any way. This can happen from the insider information which is being shared, right? With somebody actually letting go some of the information, or a breach which happened where we unknowingly exposed some of our data, right? So that's essentially what the global breach statistics talks about. And there is also humongous amount of money being invested by the enterprises and the organizations to protect themselves, right? This is something that we need to understand as an opportunity again. The reason why we say that, there are more opportunities that you all have, because organizations are investing in making sure that, they invest heavily in the cybersecurity spend. Every organization for that matter, because security is taking the precedence and the attacks are prevalent, right? It's essential for us to make sure we are ready for the attacks. And that means that we have to spend enough amount of time and money and resources to keep ourselves safe, right? When we work for a customer, we have to take care of their safety as well. It's not just about us, right? So that is essentially what these numbers are showing, and this is countrywide that you can actually see the amount of investment that's happening. And this is massive investment and massive focus from corporate world as such, right? So again, is it happening in very few sectors of the industry? No, actually you can see the wide spectrum of the industry across the industries, right? Take it healthcare to admin and support, but healthcare is worst impacted. Then goes the information technology, then follows the fintech or finance and insurance. Then goes for the public administration, professional and scientific services also gets hit, right? Manufacturing, it's still there. Retail, I have addressed a recent few issues where retail industry got impacted, right? Education, of course, we will think that, oh, what can happen in education? Even this is a domain which can actually get impacted, right? Transport, storage, other services, which are all actually clubbed a few of the other services together. Then admin and support, all these areas. So this is not like one space or one industry domain that will get impacted. Any of these can get impacted. So the moment you have your data which is exposed to external world through, even if you have some mechanism to have an access control, you are still exposing if you don't put way of making sure there is at least things like multi-factor authentication, or making sure you have a good password maintenance policy or a password rotation policy, right? These are some of the things which can start impacting the way that you think, or the way that you have set up your infrastructure, or the way that you are actually building the solution for these industries that we are listing down here. That's where you have that's where you have a lot of opportunities that we can look for. So I'll just pause here. Are there any questions? I saw some questions.
So in the statistics, some Vaibhav is asking, where is India?
So definitely, India is not far behind in all this, right? In the statistics, we definitely have, we definitely are much, not far behind when it comes to these are the challenges, right? So we are, we have just actually listed on just the, top 10 information that we would like to have listed down here. But if you really think from the other point of view, yes, we are mostly considered the top 10 here, but we are not too far behind. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, what does this tell us with so much of statistics that we are looking at? What does this really tell us, right? It basically talks about, the cybersecurity opportunities being global. This career is sector agnostic. It doesn't matter which sector that you are actually into. There was another question, I guess. Can somebody read it for me? I'm sorry, I'm sharing the screen. I can't read
Vaibhav
it.
is asking, can we make our career in it?
Of course, that's the whole presentation is about, right? We are helping you to understand, yes, this is a good career opportunity. As students, if at all you embark on this journey of cybersecurity in an earlier stage, you definitely have a very good growth in this sector, right? In this domain as such. Cybersecurity is one of the important pillars of an organization, right? And with more and more organizations moving towards the cloud-based infrastructure, it is it is growing massive. And if you consider last few years versus now, definitely it is growing faster, and next 5 years is definitely something it will continue to be the focus area. In fact, there was a conversation that we were talking about, okay, why are the CISOs not part of the boards as such? Because I think the growth is going towards that direction where CISOs will also sit on the boards of the organizations, right? That's essentially how it is going towards. It is growing. Some organizations consider it, some organizations are not. But yes, it is growing at a very fast pace. The industry is growing, opportunities are huge. And this program that we are actually helping you understand, these programs, the training programs that we have, will make you ready for the industry as such, right? So, and this conversation is happening everywhere. It's not in one or two places, right? I mean, it's happening across the industry. Talk to any of the CXOs, they'll talk about, if at all we ask, I was just part of one of the conversations in the with Microsoft, and we were 20 of us discussing about what is the important stuff that we are going to look at 2022. At least 80% of them told security is a very important topic for them for this year, right? The reason being, it is something that we cannot live without, right? It is going to be something that is going to take up the precedence by default. The approach has to be defined. We have to be ready for the industry as well, right? That's where these courses that we are going to describe is going to come out. Yeah. Yeah. So I see one more question. Can somebody read it for me, please?
Krish Shah is saying, companies like Microsoft and Google, when searched in Google, doesn't show up any opportunities in this field.
Oh, you will not, very interesting question. So first of all, there are job portals which are there already, and that is where you probably need to look at. And companies like Microsoft and Google, they have their own way of actually looking for these people. Many of the times they actually make sure that, they start small and, hire people like you from the colleges and coach them to become experts in the cybersecurity space. That's one of the areas. Other areas are many places cybersecurity is becoming part and parcel, part and parcel of the work that is actually happening, right? Say, for example, one of the important areas that I work in is called as DevSecOps. The sec, when I say security, it's DevSecOps is actually pointing to security, right? So that is something that you ought to do on a day-to-day basis, on a regular basis. And it is something that you make it part of your development life cycle, right? Somebody asked, can there be a combination of AWS and cybersecurity? Yes, there is industry-specific cybersecurity details that are defined as a standard practices, right? So well-architected AWS solutions. If you go ahead and look at it, cybersecurity is one of the very important aspects there, right? So this is something which is an ongoing trend, and this is not something which came overnight, right? There are specific design patterns defined by various cloud service providers to make sure they are cyber ready, right? The security elements are part and parcel of this, the SCPs is what we call it as, right? These security control policies is what we call it as. These are something which we are supposed to write as part of our infrastructure as a code, or the code that we actually build, because gone are the days where you manually will set up the infrastructure. Now is the time where you have to you need to think about automation everywhere, because you need to save time as much as possible, and you need to shrink the time it takes to actually make an environment available, right? So yes, as long as you are interested, it doesn't matter which domain you come from, right? If you know how to handle a computer, I'm sure you'll figure out a opportunity in cybersecurity space. It's all about looking for that attention to detail and applying some of those common sense approaches, right? So doesn't matter which coming from. So yeah, that's a very interesting question that I see there. It's about how the cybersecurity is going to impact the electrical vehicles domain. We recently saw a story about Tesla cars being remotely accessed and things like that. Oh, these are all possible mostly because some of these things are easily available, easily hackable, right? So I would not say easy, it's not from our side. It's mostly from the people who actually who are well versed with this, who actually keep on doing that analysis and actually do some research about it. They can go ahead and attack it. Now, if you think from EV point of view, yes, there are a lot of things that can be hacked into. It's simple as you can start accessing the dashboards, right? Because most of the electrical vehicles actually come with by default, most of this one is electronically controlled. Most of the bike or car is mostly electronically controlled. It basically means that this is very sometimes if you don't put the right guardrails in place, it's very easy to access it, right? So that is the thing. I see a lot of questions coming in. I don't know, should we go to the questions round itself, or should we continue with it?
You can, because it is very important for us to clear their questions, and rather than having a webinar, yeah, it is better, sir, you can answer them as and when it comes.
Sure. Okay. All right. So I think I answered that question of can commerce students go ahead and do cybersecurity jobs? Absolutely, you can. Is there a particular date to join? Yes, I think the ASAC website has all the details. I'm sure we'll be sharing that those dates as well. What is the exact job description of a cybersecurity professional? There is a section where we will walk you through which are all the various job profiles that we are looking at when it comes to cybersecurity. I would request if you could please hold that question till that time. And what's the main of cyberspace, main aim of cyberspace? Again, cyberspace is a slightly overarching term, right? Cyberspace has multiple facets to it. Now, when it also depends on where you are looking from. The space that we are currently working on is more of the legal part of it. There is the illegal part of it also, which is not an area that we are trying to cover here. We are mostly thinking from the ethical hacking part and also the ethical part of the whole business here. How do we make sure we as common people are exposed to some of this, and how do we make sure we safeguard ourselves, our families, our organizations, and as well as our society? Okay. Is there any change in share market during cyber times? Oh, absolutely. I don't know if you have observed it. You can actually go and do some research on this. Again, our friend Google should probably help us out here. The moment some organizations, which is already publicly listed organizations, PII information, which is essentially their personal information of their customers, gets exposed, their shares going to drop. Definitely, it has a direct impact on the share market. So that's one of the reasons It is expected for each of the listed organizations to go back and actually share this information as well with the corresponding security council that they will have within that country, right? Security, when I'm saying not the cyber security part, I'm talking about the security part, that part, right? What about cyber startups? Oh, there are plenty of it. And, Bangalore being the startup hub, there are so many cyber startups which are actually happening. You can look at how they actually set up some of those monitoring tools, some of those safeguards. VAPT is actually becoming another space which we'll probably explain in detail, right? Now, the startups are actually on the rage, and they have a lot more actually coming into picture. And the domains also that you can look at it, the domains that we were listing down, in each of those domains, you will have some or the other place where cybersecurity will play a major role, right? And cyber security specific startups are also on the rise. And all these days we are thinking, south part of the country is actually having more startups. We recently read a news, even Delhi is actually overtaking Bangalore in terms of the startups, right? So that way the whole country is actually gearing up, because I think last 2 years has been really massive in terms of some of the startups ecosystem. I think they have been growing significantly. How necessary is coding for to enter this field? I think we answered this question, because I told coding, if you know coding, yes, you can do some part of the work which is already there in this space. If you don't know coding as well, you can still do some part of it, right? So there are quite a few places where we'll probably list down the roles and responsibilities, right? How to go about take up this as a profession, sir? Yes, that's essentially the reason why we are actually conducting this session for you all, because this is a domain which has humongous amount of potential. And there are courses which we are conducting as part of ISAC, which is essentially beneficial for you, and also bringing up the more real-time scenarios for you to help you understand how we can actually get into the situation, address the situation, including the places where you can actually start working very closely towards fixing the issues also. Not safeguarding alone, fixing the issues as well. Jurisdiction is an issue. How justification can be done? I'm not really sure if I understood this question. Because jurisdiction, if I at least understand the question, yes, there is a restriction, and if at all beyond the how a crime which is committed from somebody who's abroad in some other country on a person who's here, how that can be managed. I think there are provisions as per the law where you can still actually file a complaint, and the cyber cells of the two countries can actually work together to get you the help that is needed. It is taken very seriously, and many of the countries actually have a joint understanding MOUs, so that you don't have to. We can deal collectively with this, right? What jobs come under cybersecurity and AWS cloud computing? This is something that I believe I already answered. How can common man be aware about these threats during this pandemic? Yes, that's one of the very important topics that we are focusing on as well, right? So important aspect that we focus on is essentially the work that is happening as part of the awareness that we are building. I don't know how many of you knew October month was actually spent as cybersecurity awareness month, where the information was spread across, and you could see a lot of people actually talking about it. And some of those social media, specifically like LinkedIn and all, had a lot of topics especially talking about it. And the awareness is something that we all collectively need to do, and that's another additional reason why we are actually talking about this today. Can we get a job at earliest when we are studying? Yes, there is possibility. There are possibilities for having some of those jobs done while you are studying as well. There are avenues. Yes. What are avenues of law professionals in this field? Oh, there is humongous demand for legal professionals in the cybersecurity space, because cyber law is something that people get impacted very easily, and organizations need suggestions from the law professionals in terms of how do they handle it, right? How do they handle these kind of situations? In fact, when we are actually writing the statement of works with various other customers, we make it a point we actually take a legal suggestion as well, right? So there we also cover cyber threat or cyber security as one of the important elements that need to be part and parcel of what happens if something goes wrong, right? Those information needs to be added. So that needs a good amount of review when we actually have a work getting awarded from a customer to an organization, to make sure a legal professional walks through that and make sure he says okay, he or she says okay, right? What are the ways to get in and get placed there? So exactly, we have courses which are available for you. There are organizations which are considering the courses that is being completed here to be very well covered, well structured courses, because there are courses which have very focused practical approach as well. So keeping those things in mind, definitely yes, a lot is possible if you stay put on until we close take towards the closure of this presentation. We have structured courses that will actually walk you through, right? Can a system admin in a company be called near as he blocks websites for employees? So very interesting question. Yeah, system administration definitely has the responsibility of making sure that the infrastructure that he or she is managing is secure, right? Can they be considered as cybersecurity professionals? One of the roles and responsibilities that they have is to make sure they are cybersecurity aware, right? Will he or she be the only person who will be taking care of it? Maybe not. There'll be many other people who will be collectively working with them to make sure that this infrastructure is secure. Is ethical hacking linked to cybersecurity? Absolutely. Yes, that's one of the domains in the cybersecurity. Kindly guide how LLB students can catch up with the employment opportunity in this field. Yes. We did have few courses where we had a few law students joining in as well. So as I was explaining already, there are places where you can get into the security space very easily. Yeah. Why cybersecurity is so important for the students? You are the ones who get exposed to some of this information very fast and very quickly and without any trouble, because be it as simple as going ahead and actually downloading some torrent file or as good as getting to know somebody completely new whom you think you actually know the person, but the person is somebody else, right? So one of the reasons why, because of the additional curiosity that we will have to learn something new, we tend to actually try to reach out, and thanks to places like Google and all that, we have various domains where you keep getting to hear a lot of information. And that's essentially where you need to understand how ready are you for cybersecurity and also the threats that we keep hearing or get exposed to. What's the main aim of cyberspace? I believe we already covered that. Is there a specific programming language should know to get into cybersecurity? I think we covered that aspect too. I mean, it is programming language. I believe you can start with some of those programming languages that you may already know, and there are places where you need to know the system level details as well, because sometimes you'll need to get into the system level details. But again, programming language specifically, yeah, if you have knowledge in Python, Java, C++, they are good enough actually to start with. But there are other places as well. There are other frameworks which you can actually utilize and start understanding the system specific information, right? What jobs come under cybersecurity and AWS computing? I think we have a slide. We'll probably cover some part of it. We have, yeah. How is ethical hacking linked to cybersecurity? We already addressed that. I think some of these questions are repeating again. So is there a requirement to have specialization in cyber laws in addition to LLB to get employment opportunities in the field? There are, certification courses which are available in the cyber laws in addition to LLB. Yes, that is also something that we can cover. And some of the courses that we already have, the awareness that we build will also should be able to help you out to do this. And next question is about ethical, how to start learning ethical hacking. There are courses specifically which are designed from our organization. You can probably go through the details in a bit. So, as I was discussing, I think we have already addressed this question. Just in the interest of time, let me move to that. Next one. Yes. Is there a link between cybersecurity and data science? Of course, there is a link. There is a huge link, because the data that you collect, it needs to be in a system which is secure enough. And you need to have the security guardrails which are set up across those data systems, right? So these data, the data science usually runs on humongous sized databases, right? And this database obviously need to be, secure enough, or, accessed by only known people, or, the amount of algorithms that you keep learning. And based on that, if you have an outcome that you define, the machine learning result or an outcome based on which somebody else will take a decision may have an impact, right? So that's the reason definitely there's a close link in terms of making sure that the data science systems are secure enough. Is cybersecurity only for building antivirus for the system? No. Antivirus is one of the elements where you actually protect your end system, right? Which is essentially your desktop, right? We also do that in some of the servers as well, no doubt about it. Cybersecurity focuses on many other areas than just actually looking at the endpoint protection. We also talk about application security. We also talk about infrastructure security. How do you manage the identity and access management? How do you make sure the vulnerabilities of the systems are found out? All these areas, right? So there are a lot of roles than just looking at that part.
Nine, sir, I think now there are a few questions can be taken by Bala sir also, so you may continue with the presentation.
Sure. All right. So coming back to the presentation that we have, this is something that we had in terms of job categories that we are talking about. We have in the space of defense, systems administration, network security. Somebody was asking about system administration as well. The SOC design, SOC analysis, maturity review, incident and response. What happens when some issues get reported? How do you respond back to it, right? Vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, and advanced exploitations, which come under the offensive testing part, right? Secure coding, we are talking about various programming languages that we could actually talk about. Automated audit, is my code fair enough? Is my code secure enough? Am I storing any of the security information, or things like username, password, or customer data in my code? So these are all some of the basic things that will probably make sure that we take care of as part of our cybersecurity approaches. Communication security, making sure how the testing can happen in the security space, especially on your communication devices, and how do we make sure that the encryption is taken care of it. And risk management, right? The internal audit and processes. This is again to figure out what exactly can go wrong or happen in terms of the audits as such, right? I mean, internal audit is basically trying to visualize what are the possible risks that we may face, and what are the possible losses that we may incur if at all we get into that, if that risk becomes an issue, right? There's also a lot of standards which are actually defined, which basically talks about the standards which the international bodies as well as the government bodies expect us to be maintaining, especially when it comes to banking sector, healthcare sector. There are certifications that we are expected to maintain. The governance part, how do we make sure we manage the overall show? The ethics, especially when it comes to the cybersecurity ethics, how do you manage that? How the policies are set up in an organization so that we don't have to get into issues. Our policies can act as a safeguarding mechanism to avoid any of the issues. The intelligence, which actually goes into the offensive security part. Again, how do you bring in the management aspect and the operational element? So these are some of the broad job categories where we go through. The opportunities that we spoke about, not just the antivirus part which somebody was talking about. We have the SIEM tools where the logging can happen. We can start getting the alerts. We can get the threat intelligence. So NOCs and SOCs and the intranet, the servers, the vendor who are trying to access our system. When it comes to the industrial sector, right? We also have these PLCs and SCADA systems. There are cases where PLCs and SCADAs were attacked as well, got access to and all that stuff, right? So this is something as and when the systems are easily accessible over a network and they are somewhere connected to the internet, it becomes very easy for us to actually have things accessed, and we need to make there is a protection system which is in place, which is protecting our overall infrastructure. Of course, we know the emails and other stuff, which is essentially the web apps, websites, client portals. We keep hearing about it. When it comes to the infrastructure as such, we talk about the firewall, routers, the cloud configuration, backup, VPN, etc. Right? So these are all the places where a cybersecurity expert or a professional can actually get into, right? So a typical security team composition consists of, obviously we spoke about the security governance part, which brings in the policies, procedures, the audits, change management, and also a sort of metrics and reporting where we always keep a close watch on what is actually happening. The security operations play a very vital role, and threat and vulnerability management in terms of when an issue occurs, how do we actually handle it? The security analytics, we may find an issue. What are we going to do to make sure we don't get into that issue again? That's where your analytics comes into picture. Threat hunting and intelligence in terms of how our system would behave in a given situation. How do we make sure that the threat is actually addressed already? How we start looking at the system and make sure that the intelligence is built so that we can avoid that situation, right? Identity and access management. Are you the same person who was given the permission to get into the system, or somebody else is actually spoofing your name and actually trying to get into the system, right? Incident management. Once an incident occurs, how do we go through the audit trail? Because as a security incident, most of the security incidents nowadays, companies actually go for the insurance coverage as well. The moment it is insurance covered, obviously you have to make sure you keep an audit trail of everything that is actually happening, right? So that is where you need to maintain a track of all the information that's happening. That's where logging is very essential. Once the logging is enabled, it becomes easy for any of the investigation and forensics to actually go through it, because that's the flow of the system that we actually look at. Because anybody who's going and trying to see if there is an attack that has happened, it's important for them to know what actually happened. That's where the suggestion is always plug out the system, but don't let go the system. And that's one of the suggestions which keeps happening. This is where I'll stop, and I'd like to request to hand it over to Bala sir.
Yes, sir. I'll invite him now. Thank you, Nayan sir, for that session. And now we have another eminent speaker from the industry, Mr. P. Balaprasad. Mr. Balaprasad is working with TCS for the past 23 years and is currently playing the role of growth, transformation, and innovation leader for high-tech unit. Apart from his primary role of building digital core and creating innovative business models, he is also a committed volunteer, and he pledges his time to serve voluntary with CSI, and he's a chairman of CSI Hyderabad chapter. Over to you, Bala sir. Welcome.
Thank you, Nayan. You have beautifully covered the entire gamut of cybersecurity space and answered many of the questions which students were raising. Amazing. And I believe it really provided the kind of a view for everyone how cybersecurity is important from the industry perspective and how people can make a great career using the cybersecurity as a rider. So today, if you are really looking at, I'm trying to give you a perspective from the industry, what industry is trying to look from the students who are trying to make a big career. The basic fundamental principle what we try to look out is creating an enterprise vigilance utilizing the cybersecurity channels. When I say so, you need to understand what are the different trends which are really driving and penetrating this. If you understand this space particularly, you need to really investigate the overall cybersecurity themes, which is making a tremendous journey. The workforce has dramatically affected because of the COVID. And in the last 2 years, we have seen a significant shift in the security posture, what enterprises were really looking at. They have shifted their work from the closed working places to the remote work, and their entire assessment strategy, cybersecurity awareness has tremendously changed the behavior of the working professionals. And that's where you try to see there is an opportunity for attackers. Opportunity for the attackers because they try to look into the kind of an endpoints or looking to the data which is moving from the unsecured zones to the secured zones. So that's where you see there is a denial of service attack, distributed denial of service attacks or phishing attacks, and specifically persistent threats are really driving the entire disruption to the market. In fact, in the recent past, WannaCry, which happened in 2017, and in the US, there is a supply chain attack. It's all related to the business disruptions, making the exposure for the endpoints. No matter how much security you impose, there is one or the other channel people try to discover and try to underpin that. So very important for all of us is to build that awareness. that ethical hacking, what you guys were asking, or the programming models, what you're trying to look, understanding of the tools, it's all about giving that kind of an exposure so that you understand what was the overall perimeter under which I need to work, and how can I build my code with more security and have a mindset, most importantly, the mindset which enables a zero trust security overall. And very, very important, when we try to design any kind of a solution, we should always go with an approach that security is an implicit requirement from the customer. So you cannot build any kind of an application which is not secured. And that's where I'm trying to give you certain exposure to the overall channels, these trends which are really enabling the enterprises to have a larger spend in the market. As Nayan was trying to talk about the CISOs, that is the cybersecurity officers who have a greater focus, enterprise level, you see that this particular role has got a huge significance. Now, what are the other roles available? There is a list of roles which already Nayan has mentioned, but today, information security analyst, people who do not know the programming models, but people who have an ability to go into the depth and details and analyze and understand the patterns and advise what need to be done is also good enough. Today, if you see big four companies, when I call EY, Ernst and Young, KPMG, PwC, and Deloitte, they collectively make a lot of billions of dollars in this security advisory services, who does not really program, but they use that particular data points to analyze, understand the patterns, and try to recommend what need to be done. And these are all possible through the automation procedures and looking into the vulnerability and assessment areas, ensuring your entire edge devices or edge points are really protected, and continuously probing and continuously ensuring your full life cycle of any kind of an application, whether it is in cloud or on premise, really takes care of the security. Today, if I wanted to deploy any application onto the cloud, the strategy which is generally employed is a DevOps strategy. Means from development to the operation, there should be seamless integration, testing, deployment, and also the monitoring aspects. Now, when I say so, you need to understand how can I build the security at every level. That's where you see today DevSecOps has emerged a lot, and the tools enabled with the DevSecOps really provide you that kind of a platform and capability to inculcate that particular discipline across. Most importantly, you try to see this. This is ensuring that entire cyber physical landscape of the systems are totally protected and managed and properly spent. Today, if you are trying to talk about DevSecOps, the specific trends what I today see is it's all about trillions of dollars spent by the enterprises just because of the poor software quality. And it's important for us to understand how can you build a secure code which can minimize that. Even a single breach, data breach, can cost a significant amount of dollars to the enterprises. In fact, United States is one of a kind of a country which is having an average cost of around $8.64 million for every data breach. That is pretty high. So it's very important that everyone has seen that today every enterprises have started focusing and building their investment in that area. And this security incidents, if that can be prevented, then the post activities can be minimized to a greater level. And you can see that adopting the DevSecOps strategy within the enterprise can really fix the bugs early and also reduce the security incidents to a greater level. This is one of the important industry norm and trends, and you have a huge opportunity to make yourself a career in the DevSecOps engineer positions, information security analyst positions, cyber security analyst positions, vulnerability assessment engineer. Likewise, many such kind of a capabilities you can build and also drive the things. Here, I'm trying to give you a complete gamut of the services portfolio, what today industries are working. I just want your attention on the left side because these are the areas of specializations which you can really do. The cognitive threat management, where the artificial intelligence can play a role in diagnosing and troubleshooting the things. Enterprise vulnerability management, where the ethical hacking, application risk assessments, infrastructure risk assessments can play an important role. It ensures that entire software development lifecycle is completely checked for the vulnerability areas. Third important area is identity access management. The strategy what you employ in authenticating and authorization. Today, you see many applications allow the multi-factor authentications with OTP enabled. That's primarily to ensure that there is a proper governance and only privileged access management is given. And today, there is a lot of trust between the different identity providers. That's where the federation, multi-factor authentication, access management plays a very important role. And control policies, access control policies are something which need to be really understood with merit. And fourth important area was the governance, risk and compliance area. As Nayan already mentioned, there is a many gamut of certifications which are available, which you need to undergo. Just even for the cloud, you need to ensure that the SSAE certification, HIPAA certification, so many SOX compliance related things, all these things you need to do. There is a huge amount of information controls you need to undergo to ensure there is a regulatory compliance of your application, especially when you're trying to build the product and launch that product into the market. You need to take care of those things. In fact, if you even develop a small mobile application, I wanted to publish in any particular store, app store or something, it need to undergo these security checks and ensure that you are completely securing your applications and blocking the people to penetrate further. Likewise, you see there is a huge amount of focus within the industry to build the reference models and architectures in the cloud security, data privacy areas, and also in the industrial control systems. That's where the IoT, now the example of Tesla, what took by Nayan, it is really opening up the surface which is helping us to exploit the possibilities to penetrate into that kind of endpoints. So when you say a car, a driverless car, it's all about the endpoint which is trying to communicate with the outside system and using that internal information to analyze and make the decisions. Any endpoint which is loosely secured can be penetrated and hacked. And that's where very important that digital forensics and discovery things will be able to understand the overall impact and why it has resulted, the root cause of it, and able to give us the information how it can avoid that in the future. So this services portfolio is something which is really get used by the enterprises to a greater level. I want you to have a view of that, because in each of this area you can find gamut of roles available in the enterprise where you can really enable yourself. People were asking about the programming languages. One of the beautiful programming language I want everyone to be aware of is Python. Python has an ability to leverage the security libraries and programming on each of these areas which I was trying to mention. So having said that, you need to understand that COVID has really dramatically shifted. There is a huge amount of challenges. In fact, within TCS, I work for TCS from last 23 years, and we were trying to build a lot of specific solutions associated to the remote access, strong authentication, risk simulation area, data privacy area, which is focused on the consent management, and cyber vigilance platform, which is more focusing on the phishing areas to understand intelligently, monitor, and also provide the information back. In fact, if you following any kind of OTT series, there's many raw related work, right? The intelligence security of the country utilizes these platforms, utilizes some of this kind of solutions in their own way to understand and study the social media patterns and other things to arrive at the right level of thoughts. So finally, I want to touch upon these are the broad scope of the focus areas where each individual can really look at. And when you specialize in these areas, or when you have an understanding in these areas, you will be able to really discover the tools, really discover the libraries, programming methods, and apply that kind of a concept to solve some of the industry problems in the cybersecurity space. We are more vulnerable because we are more digital. So it's important that this awareness, along with the tools and technologies, can make a big difference in the entire community to adapt and move forward. There are several slides which I wanted to touch, but in the interest of time, I'm just trying to touch upon. Cognitive threat management has got a huge amount of focus today from the all the security endpoints. And there is a huge amount of research work which is currently going on. And enterprises are trying to deliver these things as a service. You need to understand the amount of investment which is going in the threat intelligence and advisory forensic as a service, which is making us to build a security operations center at every enterprise. So huge investments, and there is not only a learning opportunity, but also a opportunity to make up a great career, to advance yourself into the information security analyst, to the cloud security engineer, to the security architect, to the chief security officer of an organization. That's a level of progression what you can see as you can really look at. Just with that thought, I wanted to leave, and if there is any open questions, I would like to take it up. Just because of the interest of time, I'm just trying to stop it here. And
Thank you so much, Bala sir. That
yeah.
was really nice. And thanks for sparing time for Isaac from your busy schedule. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Now, I call upon Wing Commander G. Srinivas, who's with Isaac, to give a fair idea of about the courses that Isaac has in various fields of cybersecurity. Over to you, Srinivas sir.
Yeah, good evening, everybody, and thank you, Nayan and Bala. As you have given a very clear and fair idea about this cybersecurity to most of the people, and answering many questions, those which have been asked and which would have been there in the minds of many people also. Now, just to give a fair idea about the courses, I just try to quickly run through some of the slides and tell you what is there. 1 second. Let me see. Yeah.
We will have a question answer session. We have our experts staying back. So
Yeah.
once this presentation is over, you can always ask questions.
Yeah.
Ma'am, ethical hacking, where is that course you make him
I will
learn?
tell you. I'll tell you. Just wait. Can you see my screen, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Request you have some patience. Sir is going to show that only about the
Yeah.
course.
We're coming to that. Yeah. Just give a brief about the ISAC. We are talking about the ISAC. Just to let me know, tell you all. ISAC is Information Sharing and Analysis Center. It's been there in the industry of cybersecurity for around 1 decade or more. Initially, it was working with the government departments like Research and Analysis Wing, NTRO, Ministry of Electronics, Ministry of Defense, and doing certain projects related to the cybersecurity in information security. Thereafter, we have moved towards the government organizations protecting the cyberspace, then to the corporates. Now, in the last 1 year, the government of India wanted us to give the courses to the students, because today's students, when they are equipped with the cybersecurity techniques, they'll be able to take on the industry and the government and the country well and protect the space from the threats. So this is the logo of the ISAC. It's a open eye, and we are ready to learn also to share the knowledge also. ISAC's focused vision is creating platforms and networks to bring diverse people together to start conversations on cybersecurity. We build a large pool of cybersecurity professionals through a national security database in which all the trained people are enlisted, and from there they'll be communicating to each other about the cyber security scenarios. People will be drawn from that NSD secured database to various organizations for the fulfilling the jobs. That is what is the objective of NSD. Then what is the NSD? NSD is a prestigious certification program awarded to credible and trustworthy information security experts. We give training, we keep our labs open to them through lab testing, and each certification has around 6 to 8 hours of lab test. Certain lab tests are around 1 day also in the expert levels. When you do the course, theory classes are also there, lab exams are also there, and you will be able to access the labs for a certain amount of time and do whatever experimentation you want to do, get the confidence in the certifications, thereafter ready to take on any position in the industry or in the government also. This is to protect the national critical infrastructure and economy of the country. You will be ready and you will be trained by ISAC. NSD recognitions actually, Ministry of Defense recognizes these certifications. Ministry of Education, we have a MOU with the Ministry of Education also. Most of the programs are all certified by Ministry of Education. And there are 2 bodies in the government of India which are mandated to protect the information security. One is NCIIPC, National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center. The other one is CERT-IN. CERT is the Center for Emergency Response. This is critical emergency response team. Basically, it is in India, IN. Anywhere any incident happens, then CERT will immediately jump into the action. Like for example, there is a cyber attack somewhere in the important infrastructure, that is maybe space, nuclear facility, or somewhere in one of the aviation industry in the country, or in a power plant. CERT immediately moves there. They see the cause, they try to seal the threat and analyze it and share it to the other people so that it is not happening again. And all the industries, most of the IT industries, they recognize NSD certificates. And most importantly, recently, the Karnataka government has started a digital economy mission in which they are planning to train more than 30 lakh people within next 5 years across Karnataka for only cyber security roles. They want to make it as a Silicon Valley. Mysore is the place, a destination they wanted to develop as a cyber security hub there. Karnataka government is supporting it. All the colleges, corporates, and all other government departments are pulled in, and they will be trained on this. ISAC is a partner in that. Now coming to the part of courses. What are the NSD certifications from ISAC? I'll start it from the right. The basic course, that is the Cybercrime Intervention Officers course. This course makes anyone and whosoever is 18 years plus knowing to operate a mobile or a computer, they can do this course. What do they teach? In this course, all the cyber threats that are happening around the world that are affecting the children, students, and the society, they will be giving an insight into all the domain of this. What are all the cyber threats that is happening in the industry also? They'll be teaching you all. It is only a awareness program basically. It is not a job oriented course. It is the awareness course. All the students, faculty, even the biggest industry CISOs, who are the chief information security officers, they are also undergoing this course because it gives a broader perspective of the cyber threats in the world. There will be a cyber psychologist who generally gives an insight. How does a behavior of people changes by continuous gaming? How does behavior of children changes with continuous use of mobile? How a individual who otherwise is a very smart, gentle, and docile person with addiction into the game, how the behavior changes? These all issues are discussed there. A lot of mothers, they come and do this course and get a lot of knowledge. Even the faculty, even the professors, they are part of this. And we had almost more than 2,000 people trained in this course. This is Cybercrime Intervention Officer course. Why it is called intervention? Because once you do the course, you'll be able to protect yourself. Apart from you, you'll be able to guide others in case of any cyber threat that is happening. Like someone is coming to you, your brother, your sister, your mother, someone comes, there is a message in the mobile telling that so-and-so lottery is won, click on this link. Shall I click or not? You will immediately tell, no, don't do it. Someone comes, a servant or somebody who is working in the house comes and tells, yesterday night he got a call that he got a lottery. You have to just send 1 rupee in so-and-so account. Then when he comes to you, you'll be able to tell advice better. Something happens to your own grandfather who is a pensioner, money has been stolen from his account. How to do? He's in a panic. In next half an hour to 45 minutes, you will have to advise him, and you know you're well equipped about this knowledge. This is the understanding you will get out of this course. It is NSD certified course, Cybercrime Intervention Officer. The course is starting 9th of February now, and details will be had with the website. Website details, I think she will be, Shiva, please put the website address also. Next comes management courses. These are for the tech managers, basically. Cyber security governance program. It is for the people within the industry with 6 to 7 years of experience in any of the industries, be that faculty, be it engineer, be it anyone. They can get the insight of governance in an industry or an organization, knowing about the cyber scenarios. What all happens? Generally, any industry, how does they get exposed, how to protect it, how to govern it. That is being taught. Cybersecurity Scholar Program is a superior program. It is for the senior level managerial course. And to name a few, all the state, most of the state information security officers, cabinet level IAS, IPS officers, and the national cyber security advisor who is working in PMO, General Rajesh Pant. He was also one of the students of the course. In the last course, he was there. And in this course, the UIDA, you all know about the Aadhaar. Aadhaar, who manages country-wise who takes the protection of the data. Actually, he is also part of this course. He did this course around 15 weeks. The course it is for the senior level managers. And also we are proud to say that a lot of people from abroad, for Israel, Tajikistan, and European countries, they take part in these courses. And it is starting in July for the senior level managers. Now, about the industrial security, we have got the IoT security, IoT industrial security professional course, drone security. This is specific to particular industries. We have got aviation industry courses also are there, which is starting this 12th. And when it comes to the offensive security, we got penetration tester, web application security course, exploit researcher, bug bounty researcher. And in the forensics, we have SOC analyst, mobile app security, forensics investigation, malware, reverse engineer. These are the specializations. When you go through the CCIO, then come through I'll let you know the path for the people. Some of the students are asking how to start the courses so that you get a knowledge and also at the same time placement. I'll just come to that. You start with CCIO, that is the intervention officers course. Then thereafter, you do a basics of information security course. Then you get to the cadet level courses. Cadet level courses are bug bounty and penetration testing courses. And do internship. We offer internship also. All these will make you ready for taking on any job in the industry as a cyber security professional, at least in the junior engineer level. Someone who is trained in cadet and falcon definitely is being taken. And there is no falcon who has been trained with ISAC is jobless, because they are taken for a minimum package of 8 to 10 lakhs, an average student, and rest depends on your own skill and will. Next comes the guardians. These are all the industry specific courses. Scholars, as already told, and the Lancers is a program which we are going to start in this year for even for senior level managers. Yeah, this is the someone was asking how to start the courses again. CCIO and professional ethics program. What is professional ethics program? I'll just tell you quickly about the ethics. Cybersecurity and ethics, they go hand in hand. Suppose we teach something how to do a hacking. Someone is asking ethical hacking. Ethical hacking and unethical hacking, the line is very thin. It is like if you teach somebody how to open the keys, he may help the people to open the keys who has forgotten the key, or he may start becoming a thief also. It is just like that. So as per the United Nations, someone who is a cybersecurity professional should be ethically trained also, certified also. We conduct the ethical training program, certified professional ethics at workplace. This is the course. We conduct this course, we give a certification. It's a guaranteed program for the employers also, and also the employees, so that they are given a certificate that so and so is trained and he knows the ethics. He works better. He creates a hygienic environment in terms of ethics. That is what is certified in that. These are the combination of courses we offer you. This is starting 9th of February. Those of you are interested, they may contact, we will guide you. This is the first course. The next one is NCBAS, which I said, NSD certified basics of information security. The course is on now. We have got an overwhelming response, and all even the +2, the +12 intermediate qualified people, housewives, degree students, UG, PG, professionals. There are so many people doing this course. It is a mix of the group, and they are taken through the cyber security from basics, starting from what is the computer till they become a cyber security hands-on expert. They can take on the entry level position of a cybersecurity role in any organization. That is what is being taught in NCBIS. This is the wonderful course curated for a generally knowing skills on the computer. If you know how to operate internet, that is sufficient. Someone there is a lady in the course who has studied around 15 years ago BSc mathematics, and thereafter got married, busy with the family routine. Now she wanted to do the course, and she's doing wonderful now. She's able to operate the labs, do the experiments also. So that gives a confidence to all others that anyone who has a will and interest can join these courses, cybersecurity courses, and perform better, and will be able to take up any job role in industry as a cybersecurity expert working from home. Why I'm saying is cybersecurity provides a facility, and it is a particular profession where people can start or continuously work from home only, whether it is COVID or no COVID. The job is always from home. At your own will, you can work. Next is NCBBR, this bug bounty researcher. We have got a lot of people who have been trained in this and they are participating and they're enjoying the work. Then is the penetration tester course. These two are the courses after BAS. If you do, all the students who are in second year, we suggest you should do these courses. In the first year, second semester, do your CCA1 CPW, and 2-1, you do BIS and BBR. And thereafter, as per your own interest, you can go to the specializations which I told, either forensics or the reconnaissance or any other specialization depending upon your interest. This is wonderful courses. We have got, this is the list of the courses we have got: CCAO and CBS and forensics research, the responder courses. Thereafter, let's see, yeah. Cyber leaders, yes. For the leaders, it is the like cybersecurity scholar and the governance program and C-suite cyber crisis war games. This is for the leaders. And support environment, we have got the BAS and certified cyber psychologist and cybercrime lawyers and cybercrime first responders. There was a somebody is asking, I am a law qualified, can I do anything? There are a lot of vacancies for the cybercrime lawyers, but any crime and every crime these days is, even if it is civil or a criminal case, it has got some element of IT in that. The evidences are mostly digital now. To know what is a presentable, admissible evidence or not, you need to know cyber laws. Those lawyers who converted at the earliest to the cyber domain are able to perform better and they are knowledgeable. So it is a wonderful domain for the even judiciary people also. Cyber psychologist, of course, it is a wonderful new domain. I'm saying a lot of people are queuing up in front of them. There is a lady in Hyderabad only. Every day I see her, whenever I go to meet her, there are 50 to 55 people always in waiting to meet her, the mothers, and then the particularly the students also go there. They keep taking the advice from her. That's very important profession upcoming. Aviation security, yeah. This is the aviation cybersecurity first responder course. This is a domain specific, particularly aviation, right from the ticketing till the aircraft takeoff and lands. Everything is digitized now. So any unwanted activity within the domain will jeopardize the industry. It had happened already in the US, and we can see that 3 to 4 days, one of the particular airlines couldn't fly because there was a attack. This is already seen in many of the countries that cyber attacks are very common. So aviation security courses are also there. So these are the courses we have got, and anyone has any doubt, we can tell you. But meanwhile, just give me an can you see my screen?
So,
Yeah. I'll tell you just, I'll take 2 more minutes. I think it is getting late, but then I'll see. So you are acting, your mobile is in your hand and you feel that it is very safe. But see, the mobile front face is to you visible the other side, but it is just like this, a knife in hand. So today's internet and the domain cyberspace, what we're talking, is just like this. If you don't know how to take output from that, as it has been told by Nayan sir earlier, it has got all goods and bads also. If you are smart enough, if you're ever how to operate it, it's a friend. If you don't know, it is just like the knife is always there behind. And the country is facing a severe threat from the adversaries. Who are our adversaries? Pakistan, China. They're constantly working to cause cyber threats in the country and hacks, some or other thing every day. And in your class, if you see there are 3 people sitting on a bench, 1 in 3 is exposed to the cyber threats. There is no doubt in this. We have got a lot of kilometers of borders. There are soldiers to protect it. But who is going to protect our own cyberspace? It is you people, who the students. You have to undergo these courses, take up a challenge of protecting the country. What are the challenges? You first secure your home, secure your small office, secure your company, secure the city, secure the state, and also the country. By doing this profession, you're not only making a job for you, you are securing all these things. Would you like to secure the country? Yes or no? Please type in the chat box. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready? Type in chat box, please. Yeah. Those who are willing to be a cyber warriors, type in chat box. With the threat looming on the country, and the next 5 to 6 years, we got a lot of openings. That around 35 lakh jobs are waiting as per the Government of India report only. We got around 35 lakh job openings in the cybersecurity field. And also you are protecting the country. It's a very noble profession. And with all these inputs, you can see someone is asking in Microsoft, I see there is no, what is it? Just see. Microsoft recently has launched a national campaign with US community colleges to help place 250,000 people into cybersecurity workforce. They are doing it in US. Okay. Google is also running a full page that the Wall Street Journal that they are training 1 lakh Americans for the vital jobs in data privacy and security. Okay. It's all happening. The White House has made arrangement between IBM and other people to train the college students for the roles because they're not having sufficient people. Those of your friends and the relatives who are there in US, they're already working in IT, but they don't have cybersecurity people working there. You get trained in India, you go there, you will be placed easily also. There is no doubt about the cybersecurity jobs there. With this, I think we'll just call it a day. And any questions anyone has to ask?
Sir, to whom
Unmute
should I
and ask.
Sir,
Yeah. Yes.
to whom should I contact to get training?
You can write to support@isaacindia.org or to my mail ID shiba@isaacindia.org. I have put it in the chat box.
There is a feedback form already given in the chat box. I request all of you to try fill it up and submit so that we'll contact you. Okay. That feedback form has got questionnaires that will fulfill your thought process. Basically, if you're interested in a course, if you want to do any specialization in that, if you mention it accordingly, we will contact you also. Our support team will be contacting.
Krish, our website has full details of all the courses which are available. So please do go through it. Request you to go through the website, please.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so ISAC has ability to analyze all the data from third-party applications for analysis.
So ISAC actually has, I'll tell you, we have 3 verticals basically. One is the Information Sharing and Analysis Center, which conducts the courses, programs, awareness programs across the country. And another is Clean Exit. Clean Exit is a vertical that takes care of the certification of the professionals in the work ethics basically. And the other one is CyberRanch. CyberRanch creates the labs. Like, the labs are so special and unique. They are patented in Australia and Singapore. We have recently established a lab in Malaysia and Singapore. We have a lab established in Coimbatore, that is CIT, Coimbatore Institute of Technology. You may check. We have a lab established recently. And also APJ Abdul Kalam University in Lucknow. Our first lab was established in PMO's office in 2015. It is there in Safdarjung, and it has been shown to other countries when they come to do some exercise like defenders and offenders. These games can be played on that by attacking and defending. This is being done there. So this is CyberRanch ability is to offer services also, create labs also. That is there. We can do that. When you speak about ISAC, we got all 3 like training coaches, creating labs, and do the services audits, and do even special projects also. Of course, the time was not sufficient to explain all these things. We have got MOU with many of the ministries. I said we are taking up a lot of projects and undertaking them even for the MOD also. Trained people with ISAC are engaged in MOD to do some special projects. What you are saying that they are doing as such. They are highly paid, and the guys who are college dropouts, they are in such a job now we can't even contact them, and they are very pricey jobs. They are doing that just because of their will and interest. That's it. Even our chief technical officer, he is a college dropout, and today, for speaking half an hour, he charges a huge amounts from across the globe. And he is one of the guy who developed a lot of labs and establishing, and he just recently returned from Singapore. Singapore government wanted our courses to be adopted there, and he went there to train certain faculty there. And we have established a lab in Malaysia. He was also doing that. So you can understand, cybersecurity does not require any basic qualification. You may start as an arts graduate also, or a +2 also, and you can flourish, provided you have
Sir,
will.
Sir, there is a question for Nayan sir in the YouTube live.
Yeah.
Sir, Nayan sir, are you there?
Very much, yeah. Please tell me.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Sir, he is saying, sir, I want to learn about cybersecurity and my goal is OSCP certification right now. I'm an MCA final year student. Any guidance is very helpful.
So yeah, OSCP certification is something that's available through various you can actually undergo the certification coaching and actually do that course as well. Having said that, the offensivesecurity.com, if you actually go and actually look at it, you can probably find the details of that cybersecurity course as such. Now, if the interest is to grow in that direction, yes, obviously the pen testing space is a very interesting space to get into, and a lot of opportunities. But yes, with your background as an MCA student, obviously, yeah, you can probably well into the details of the possibilities of making sure you have the operating system level details, networking level details, so that you can be more, you can build your expertise in this domain as such.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope Piyush Patel, you are happy with the answer which sir gave. Anybody else, any other questions? Regarding internships, we have a lot of internship with ISEC. You can just go through the website and you have a portal there to apply for it. You have to apply there and then your applications will be scrutinized and we will be providing you internships in various fields. Any other questions?
Courses include internship also. We give 2 to 3 months of internships in the industry, and certification, lab practices, all included in the course only.
Computer is important, sir, to learn the course.
Again?
Computer.
Yeah, we are talking about the cyber world. The cyber world is basically a laptop or a computer, and certain things can be done on mobile, but then it will not be comfortable when you start getting deeper and deeper. Actually, if you want to become an expert, I think you need to have one at least laptop. That is good. And that shouldn't be a big issue, because the moment you start getting trained and you become a certified professional, the money you are going to earn is very huge actually. And a small investment of a laptop today is not a big thing for learning these things.
Okay, sir.
Sir, it takes any amount, sir, for practicing course?
Yeah, all the course details are there. And see, that's what I said. When you fill up this form, we will come back to you. And we have all provisions of giving concessions and then rebates, and then encourage students, particularly for the women, we have got special schemes. Basically, ISAC is a non-profit organization. The fees are so less. Like I said earlier, we have got a MOU with AICTE. All of you must be knowing AICTE is All India Council of Technical Education, that gives the certification to your colleges. Any college to establish, they need to be certified by AICTE, then only they can start functioning. So our MOU is with AICTE, and all the courses are approved by AICTE, and they have decided the course fees also. Like those of you who are aware, certain people who are into this field, I just tell you, the certification programs in the EC Council or Microsoft or any other courses on the online courses are generally $800 to $850 or above, are very costly. Whereas the AICTE wanted us to give it to the students and the professionals at a rate which they fix. The lowest course, what they're saying is, should be not more than 5,500, 5,900 with tax basically. That is the course fees, they have fixed it. And when the students are interested and they're coming in numbers, that we can see, because it involves a lot of cost also to give training, and the labs are also cloud based, so we need to pay licenses and all these things. So we just see that more, our idea is to train more people so that they take on the cyber security of the industry, society, and the world. By 2023, as I said, the Minister of Electronics, just a couple of days ago, there is a paper statement also. The minister himself was telling that India itself is needing at least 1 lakh in 1 year cybersecurity professionals. Of course, you are doing your own curriculum in your BTech, but apart from that, if you do 2 to 3 courses from cybersecurity, keep your CV little stronger. And when you sit for the placements, I am very sure any organization, they will not even bother about your CG. When you have some additional courses in your hand, that will strengthen your CV and placement is guaranteed. That's what I can say.
Thank you so much, Srini sir. I think we have overshot by half an hour. If we can just take one last question, please.
Sir, for inter students, how many years you will give the training, sir?
If
Sorry?
you are there with us for 9 months, maximum is 9 months, 6 to 9 months, and your ability to grasp.
Sir, actually, what is a Geetam pin number in a form, sir?
So that is your attendance sheet. Geetam, students have to fill up the attendance sheet, which Meghna has shared with you all
Yeah,
in the
okay.
chat box.
That is their internal, I think faculty must have shared it.
Hi, can I intervene?
Please.
I have done my master's in networking and information security from Cork Institute of Technology. And to 2014, I have done pen testing modules and few reverse engineering module when I was doing my master's. I am familiar with doing tasks like sniffing, snorting, IP tables, and these things. But after doing my master's, I had to move to some other technologies like data visualization tools, those things. I haven't got a chance to work on security area.
Okay.
And so, what should I do now? Could you help me with this? I have done my master's completed my master's in 2014.
Okay, fine. Sri Shankar sir, yeah, or Nine sir, can you just answer that?
Yeah, one thing I can tell, we have a MS in information security student who has completed in UK and worked with 2 organizations in India. He has joined basics of information security course now. I can tell that he has already passed through around 4 classes. And I was talking to him yesterday. He did his MS in UK on information security only. Having done that, worked in 2 organizations around 1.5 year. Due to COVID, I think he had some issues in the organization and he was on bench, didn't get a proper project or something. He was telling, sir, can I join and associate with ISAC? I said, okay, you do one thing. You just join this course and do it and refresh your skills. And he was telling that, sir, this is the course actually, which is actually giving me insight into the cyber security. I can say only this word. He is MS in information security, done from UK. I can connect with him in any case. He is doing the course now. He's in Twitter also. He has posted in Instagram yesterday that what is the experience in the course. And I suggest that you go through these courses, 1 or 2 courses, refresh yourself, and I am very sure you'll be able to take on wonderful roles in the cyber security in any of the organization back to your roles, I'm sure. And I think Bala or Nayan will be able to analyze, even add on to this, please.
I agree with you, sir. So definitely yes, a refreshing course would definitely help, mostly because you've been away from it for some time now. And a systematic approach is what this courses actually help you to go back with, right? So if you what you studied in networking and security in 2014 versus what is it today, we have a lot of changes which has come in, right? So that is where my request would be to actually go through one of those courses. Then please keep in touch, and I'm sure we can work it out. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I thought you'll suggest me some specific course that.
Yeah, there is a course starting in cyber governance that is from 19th of February. You can see the curriculum of that course. If it is suiting to your knowledge, like whatever you know already, but if that suits to your requirement, I think that is one of the best things. You can immediately do it. 19th of February is the course starting. You can connect privately also in the website or any support numbers. We will be able to guide you.
Thank you.
Sir,
Go ahead, sir. The last question we can take.
Ma'am, I am Dr. Ambedkar College Institute, ma'am. How can I start PIN, ma'am, Gautam?
Can I?
So
PIN,
actually,
ma'am.
we are from Ambedkar Institution, ma'am. So how can we fill the Geetham PIN number?
So
That
you
is
should
not for you. That is not for you.
only for Geetham University.
That it has been clearly said for Geetham people, they have to fill the attendance sheet. All you have to fill up is the feedback form that is posted by ISAC. Just fill up the feedback form, and whatever the feedback you're giving, whatever requirement you're filling up in that, we'll contact you and support you in that field.
Hi, sir. I have one more question. How ISAC is infringed with the judicial system?
It's not
And
infringing. I can understand what you want to ask is how ISAC is aligned with the judiciary system. That's what you mean to say?
yes.
Yeah, it is not infringing. It is alignment basically. See, the CCIO course, what I said in the beginning, is basically making a pool of people who are trained in handling as a first responders for the cyber crimes. Out of this course, we ask people who wanted to be volunteers. We make the data of people who have a legal background, like cyber in the cyber judiciary field, and somebody who is having a security background. There will be cyber polices, and someone is a student of us in a college. He can at least be a first responder and help any needy people. This database is made, and we share with the local security law enforcing authorities like police and other people. And we're coming up with a program that there will be something like COP Connect. Like you will be able to connect to the COP and help the people in your locality. That is going to be there. We are going to align with them. That is what is the thing. Ministry of Home Affairs already has got that program, and we are also going the same way and aligning with them basically. The idea is train maximum people in this to make aware, support, so that cyber threats are not causing any loss to the families and the society and the country. That is what is the one. We are also aligned with the same thought. Understood?
Sir, thank you.
Sir,
So
what
much
is the fee for the inter students, sir?
There is no fees for internship. Thank you so much,
Student.
everyone. We have overshot by 45 minutes. I'm very sorry. We have to stop the session right now. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and thanks, Geetham and Ambedkar Institute. Thank you so much. And thank you, Nayan sir. It was an excellent session again by you. I hope people would have definitely been benefited by your session, sir. Thank you so much. We are logging off. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone. Thanks Nayan, and thanks Bala, and thanks to all the faculty and the students. Thanks Shiba. Logging off now.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you,
Bala sir.